Hello and welcome to Las Blancas Podcast.
Welcome back to another episode of Las Blancas. I hope everyone is doing okay. This is the last home game of the season for us, which ended our only hope of the trophy this season, which was the league. We were competing against Barcelona there. It was, we were up against Tenerife and we drew a game 1-1 after being behind until the 89th minute, when Caroline Møller scored the equalizer. But it was a weird game. We had all the opportunities in the world to win this game comfortably right from the first 10 minutes of the game, where we had a penalty and it was saved, and everything. We'll get to all of that. We'll talk about all of that. We'll break the game down for you, and we'll discuss some other important stuff as well, because this game signified or sort of marked an end for of their Real Madrid careers for a lot of players. So we'll talk about them. We'll celebrate them, sort of. We'll try to give them their flowers that the club and maybe we could not, as fans, during their time at the club. But yeah, let's get into it. And to do all of that, as always, I've got Kanita with me. Kanita, how are you doing after that game?
Well, certainly better than people who don't watch our women's team because we had the men's classico at the same day and well, yeah, uh, that was funny. But yeah, I mean, listen, it's a draw, but I don't care about the draw. Anyway, yeah, the title is gone. It's not like Betis had any chance against Barcelona there, and yeah, but there are some very interesting things that happened on this match day as well. And yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, speaking of interesting things, I think the very first thing that we have to start uh, addressing is that this game week and the final game week was supposed to be where all the games are played at the same time, which is usually the norm for the final match day across leagues. Uh, so this match day was supposed to start where all the games should have started at the same time, but that did not happen. Few of the games, two games specifically, both clubs from Sevilla. One was Real Betis and Sevilla. Both their games started earlier, while the rest of the league was waiting for something, which was very weird, which resulted in these two games getting a 30-minute halftime break in the middle. Kanita, just take us through this, what happened, and what actually happened and transpired there.
So all games were supposed to start at noon on Sunday, but we turned on the broadcast and we were okay. So they're not starting. The refs are on the sideline. So later it turned out that there was a thing, an incident that happened in another stadium. It was on Lesama, and for Athletic Club's stadium. And it was something with the fan. I think someone fell from the fence or something. I didn't see. I had that game on, but I turned out later than that happened. So basically, the ambulance had to drive that person to the hospital, and the reason for the game to have been delayed is that they had to wait for another ambulance to arrive. So yeah, that's lasted for like 15 minutes. Well, they started like 15 minutes late. And so six of the venues knew about that, obviously this one and five others. However, two two didn't have enough communication. So there were games Barcelona, Betis, and Depor Sevilla. So those two started on time at 12, while all the others waited for 15 minutes. So the ambulance came, and everything was okay, and the games were started. So it is a bit weird because the players aren't supposed to know, right? Because that's the point of the unified match day, but it wasn't really that unified. The dumb thing here is that the last match day is also unified, even though there's absolutely nothing left to play for. The title is decided, top three is decided, even top four, which is important for the Super Cup. The relegation zone is decided, like all mathematically done. Like no one plays for anything, and it's still a unified match day for some reason. Like I wished we could just enjoy football, in different time slots, but Liga F for you guys.
Yeah, I think last match day being a unified kickoff is sort of the norm, just to avoid, because I think clubs also get some sort of money for position based in the league table. So I think there might still be something at stake, and it's just to avoid the possibility of a match fixing sort of stuff happening. So last match day is completely understandable, but yeah, I mean, I hope the fan that had that emergency is okay now. But yeah, so that happened at the start, which delayed everything in all but two of the games in this match day, and then began our final home game of the season, which, you know, looking at it, we were coming into this on a 5-game winning streak. Uh, we were sort of doing remontadas. We were looking good, and we were looking to finish the season strong. And, Tenerife is a side that a lot of the times has sort of been tricky for us to play against. Like it's not a very straightforward game against them, no matter whether we play them at home or whether we play them away. It's absolutely very, very tricky, and we have lost to them as well in 2023. So it's not the best. They are sort of our banana peel side at times. You can't predict the way the game is gonna go, but I think this game had more than enough chances for us to sort of go and win it, and we weren't able to. Let's talk about the game by looking at the lineups first, and we'll take things from there, because the lineups were pretty interesting. We had a debut, and throughout the game there were instances where certain players would be playing their final game in front of the home fans, which is a big thing. These players have been here for a while now, and we'll talk about all of that. So let's start by looking at the lineups first. It was a debut in goal uh, of the first goalkeeper to play for our academy and then the first team, which is a big deal. Laia made her debut in goal for us, with Antonia at right back, Lacrar and Mendez as our centre back partnership, and Yasmin as the left back, with a sort of double pivot, if you want to call it, of Loipols and Angeldal, with a front four of Atenea, Redondo, and Linda Caicedo, with Signe Bruun leading the line, which was, which is what we have seen when both Bruun and Redondo are on the pitch at the same time. It's usually Redondo taking up that uh, number 10 role, which is usually played by Caroline Møller. When I saw the lineups, I was a little shocked. I wasn't expecting Redondo and Bruun to be starting together, because I don't know why you would change the thing that was working, with just one game coming up, and then Scotland are not really going to the Euros as well. So Caroline Weir has a long summer ahead of her where she can, get some rest after an excruciatingly long season. So I think we could have just played her. Laia's debut was exciting, but also like knowing that knowing the fact that Mylene is probably gonna leave the club this summer. So I was expecting her to start in the final home game of the season so that she can say goodbye to the fans. Would have been a good thing. But very excited for Laia as well, because a player from the academy coming up and playing as a goalkeeper is a big thing. We have had some good moments with goalkeepers coming from our academy and stuff on the men's side. So hopefully this is start of something really good with Laia, and hopefully she can continue to grow with us. But what did you make of the lineup, Kanita?
I'll be short. I'll just say that I was disappointed to not have seen not even one player that's supposed to leave the club. It's we especially Olga. Olga didn't start, and as the captain, it would have been a good tribute to then sub her off, and for her to give the captain's armband to a teammate in front of the public on the Stefano, and for me also Muller could have started with Bruun. That's also there was also an option, and yeah, I mean, Chavas also. I mean, she played last game against Granada. I mean, she could have played this one as well. The
Yeah.
last match that we have Valencia, so maybe if he wanted to make Laia debut, like Valencia is great. I mean, relegated anyway, so. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. I mean, at least, and then he didn't even put um Carla on, which we'll get to later. But yeah, I'm just disappointed about this fact. It's really unnecessary to keep them on bench.
Yeah, I mean, Mylene was the biggest shock for me. I know that he fiddles around with the rest of the lineup like usual, and we saw that in this game as well. But I think with Mylene playing the last game, I was expecting her to sort of play this one as well, because there is not much at stake, and the fans need to get the opportunities, and the players also need to get the opportunity to sort of say a proper goodbye to the fans. It's even though they have not been regulars, doesn't matter. They have been a part of the club, they have been a part of the journey, and I think every player gets deserves a chance to say their goodbyes to the fans at home. So yeah, I mean, a little disappointed with that, but we'll get into that because this is a thing that we have done in the past as well, and we'll get into that towards the end. But let's talk about the game. A 1-1 draw, and honestly, if you look back at the game, if you look back at the opportunities we had, if you look back at the numbers, if you look back at the sort of chances we created as well, we should have won, right? Like, we started the game pretty well. We hit the crossbar with this bicycle attempt at the very start. Then in the 24th minute, we won a penalty. And, when Bruun stepped up, I was like, okay, we are going to be 1-0 up, and we are going to be in the safe zone already in the lead, which would be good. But then Bruun took a really poor penalty. Honestly, like, that was very centered and very easy to save at a very convenient height for the goalkeeper. So it was saved, and then she skied the rebound as well. So yeah, I mean, it's not the best start. And maybe Bruun could have buried that, and we would have been talking about this game very differently, and maybe we could have seen a lot more minutes for the players on the bench. But yeah, I mean, what did you make of the start and the opportunities that we had in this game to sort of we didn't capitalize on those opportunities. What do you make of them? Do you think the result was fair, or do you think we should have easily won the game?
Honestly, it's Tenerife. It's never that easy to win a game against Tenerife. Yeah, I'm not even surprised. But yeah, I mean that bicycle kick and the penalty. Listen, I think the strikers are the ones who practice these penalties the least at this point, So yeah, they're strikers. They know how to, and then the rest. Well, mostly we're Tere and Olga, obviously. Yeah, probably them. But Yeah, I mean, it's fine, and I don't care about the penalty and the missed penalty. Sure, I mean, could have won the game there, or whatever. Again, it's the whole context of the game, which is, but there was a lot of weird finishing problems we had, like not even just at the start, like throughout the game was very weird. Like we could have had many more goals. I think especially in the second half. I like the second half more. It was more dynamic. It was more because of Eva Navarro and her crosses that she sent to the strikers. And those were really clear chances, and like putting it directly to the Moller's and Bruin's head there, and
Yeah.
was very good what she did in the second half. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I liked also the dynamic in the first half on the left hand side. It was fun to watch, but again, it was very weird to see us not finish any of them. So yeah, I
Yeah.
think I guess that's just one of those days. It's just not finishing boots weren't on, and
Yeah, I mean, if you just look at the numbers as well, we had 17 shots compared to their five. We had, I'm just looking at them, and we had 36 touches in the opposition box compared to their four, and both of us scored the same number of same number of goals, which is one of these days these things happen. So I'm not really bothered about it. And given the fact that this has come at the very end of the season, and even that is in a game where we could have won it pretty easily, is like, okay, like whatever, like let's just end the season with a win against Valencia, I guess. But yeah, and I think Bruun missing the penalty, Bruun being uh the one to sort of step up when Weir is not on the pitch is sort of encouraging for me to see, because even though she missed it, I think it's the right thing. Instead of
yeah.
Linda sort of stepping up, I think it's the striker needs those goals, and Bruun is somebody who feeds off of these goals, and gets that confidence and gets into a scoring form. So it is good for her. And we have to talk about the fact that she renewed with us for until 2027, which is great. Honestly, I know Bruun usually is a divisive figure among the fan base a lot of the times, where certain fans are like that her goals all come against not the top opposition or whatnot. But I feel like having Bruun as the focal point in this attack is what has enabled the attack to function much better, is what has enabled players like Linda Caicedo or Caroline Weir to be in the box a lot more, because Bruun can drop off, and Bruun can operate as that outlet up front, and others can play off of her. Then I think it's great. The fact is that she scores a lot of goals. She has scored a lot of goals. Plus, it's not just the fact that she scores goal, it's also about the fact that she adds variety to our attack. We are a team that likes to cross a lot, and that those crosses need a target, and Bruun is the target. Having a tall Danish striker is always good to target those crosses too, and I think she has made the most of it as well at times. So yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy and content with the fact that we have renewed Bruun. What do you make of that renewal, despite the general consensus on Bruun at times?
Yeah, I really liked. I mean, obviously last season as well. I mean, Bruin in general is what we hope for, right? Like this aerial threat we talked about since, well, the rumor started of her arrival, at the club. So, but this season, when I was doing the article, I just had to mention the sharing of the minutes with Alba Redondo this season. And I know, like, since the beginning, we've been, since the beginning of the season, we've been saying, okay, so he's rotating the two, and he kept doing it throughout the season. And in the beginning, we were talking about how and like strikers need this consistency. However, both
Yeah.
of them managed really well, adjusted really well. I mean, Alba needed a bit of time, like month or two, to adjust to the new team, and since then, she's been unstoppable. And we also saw the two of them starting, and their dynamic. And I love how we have both of these strikers, Bruun for like 2 years already, and Redondo, who we also expected to do well. And they're actually tied in the highest goal scorer in the league for us. Well, yeah, in general for us, I think it's 18 both this season. And I love to see this in the attacking threat, even though the minutes weren't really consistent in one started one game, the other another game. And yeah, I mean, I love Bruun, and yeah, she's different from Alba, and I love to have that in my team, honestly.
Yeah, these contrasting styles is a great thing to have in the squad. Now, moving on to talk about the rest of the game, basically, you know, we have to talk about the goal that we conceded. Simple ball again over the top. Striker makes the run, cuts it back, finishes it. Two center backs not being able to close it down or give that angle once again. Pretty disappointing again. Transition defending is something that only comes when you have got a structure in place. But I think this was more of an individual error. I think Maria Mendes should have physically closed down to her and not allowed that shot to happen in the first place. It was very disappointing to see that shot being allowed. And yeah, I mean, we paid the price. Can't blame Laia for that.
Yeah.
Would have been nice for the poor girl to get a clean sheet on her debut, but it wasn't meant to be, I guess. What did you make of that goal that we conceded?
Yeah. I mean, first of all, I think our defense doesn't really like, giving the clean sheets to the goalkeeper. Why do that when we can have some drama, But yeah, that failure to close down Babajide there, it's a typical. Basically, we were like all over the place there. I think we didn't even um expect that pass over. I mean, it was a
Mm.
very good assist. It was over the whole pitch, honestly. But yeah, it was the usual suspect, Babajida, just who you'd expect that could score against us. Last time against Granada, it was Edna Imade, another usual suspect. So yeah, we keep allowing these usual suspects to score as well. So yeah.
And even after the goal that we conceded, I think it was pretty clear that we had the attacking intent. We were looking to constantly get into the box and try to produce that opportunity. After we conceded the goal, we got on Caroline Weir. We brought on Shayla as well to sort of help that attack, and I think it did have an impact. Eva Navarro also came on after we conceded the goal, who had a really good game, producing a lot of good crosses, a lot of good balls into the box. And there was this one particular player who felt like she wanted to leave a mark in what could potentially be her final game, is her final game for the club at home. Uh, Caroline Møller, who had just come on at halftime. She was looking threatening. She got a couple of opportunities. Uh, there were chances where, Linda Caicedo received a ball on the right hand side. She attacked the byline and she took a shot at goal, which was way over. And you could see Moller visibly frustrated, waiting in the right in the middle for the cutback. Uh, and then this player managed to sort of get us the equalizer at the end. So a good sort of final home game for her, but you could see from the moment she got on the pitch that she wanted to leave a mark, and she did. She helped us gain a point in this game. Otherwise, we would have lost it. We would have lost our final game at home of the season. So, you know, kudos to her. We'll talk about, we'll share our thoughts. But Kanita, what did you make of our equalizer and Caroline Møller in general in this game? And then just talk about a little about, her time at Madrid as a player.
Yeah, so we didn't have any announcements for the departures beforehand. I mean, basically every other club did have their announcements before the last home game,
Mhm.
for for them, but we didn't. We never do, and that's annoying unless it's a retirement. We never announce departures. But Moya kind of did announce it herself with an Instagram post. And yeah, it's not, with the words, and departure and goodbye, Mother Teresa's, but it was very clear. It was, it's she was leaving, and yeah, it was going to be her last home game. So yeah, I mean, since the since when she stepped on the pitch, she really tried, and she went on the left a bit and tried to get it to other players as well there sometimes, and tried to assist, and she had that the chance you mentioned, and then yeah, she scored from cross by Ivan Navarro, one of the many crosses that he did well in this game. So yeah, I mean, it is poetic, kind of. And Moller is one of the players that I really enjoyed. It has been really frustrating. Okay, it's really been frustrating to see how she was handled, she throughout the years. So she spent 4 years at the club. It's difficult to imagine that she's been for 4 years here, but yeah, she came in December 2021. And yeah, I mean, the beginning, she was Asnar first played her on the wing. Then when he realized she's better as a striker, and he put her as on a striker, and she started scoring. Then Toril came. Then Toril played her for like a year and a half constantly on the wing. And we've been complaining about that naturally. And then last season, when Bruun came, and then Bruun became injured due to a head injury, she stepped up, and she showed herself. And until the end of the season, she was also important. And she had those fluctuations in consistency, mostly, the consistency in minutes, and consistency in position she played, which that has been really frustrating, and just seeing the positions she switched, and oh my God. But yeah, and then this season we signed Albaredondo, and yeah, she barely played. And yeah, I mean, she came on for this game, and she gave us a point. So it's I like Moller. I think since the Rayo game we had in her first season was um, beginning of November. I think like yeah, beginning of November, like 6th of November 2021. Don't ask me why I know this date, but it was such an interesting game in the attack as well, and she played as a 10 there, behind two strikers. So it was with Esther and Naikari on the pitch. So it was really fun, and it was really fun to watch her there. And since that game, I've seen her really proactive in that role. And I know later on, it was even more clear that she just shines behind the second striker. And it's her position, I guess, but it was really hard. We signed Redonda this summer, and we also had to Caroline Weir, which, obviously it's Caroline Weir. And it's a difficult position in the squad here, and he also never knew how to use her. So yeah, she leaves after 4 years, and while it's good for her, I'm never not sad about the player leaving. So yeah, thank you, Molen, and yeah, I really enjoyed this player, and I just wish her all the best wherever she goes.
Yeah, I think you covered Moeller, the player, really well. But I think the aspect that made her such a likable figure in the dressing room and among the fans was her personality of the
Mm.
pitch. And she was very she's very outspoken in the way that she supports the club in the way, if a new jersey drops, she'll put in a pic. If she'll be making these TikToks with different players, and she'll be always the one sharing videos from the dressing room and everything. So she was it felt like she was one of us, uh, fulfilling her dream, playing for the club that she really loved. And that is what made her such a fan favorite. I feel, even though, like, she did not have a consistent role in the team, she was always shifted around. She was played in various roles. She had to adapt to different players, and there was no guarantee whether, even if she scored a hat trick in this game, whether she would be starting the next one. So despite all of that, I think she has had some good moments with us. She has scored some important goals, including her last goal as well. Hopefully not last. Maybe she scores against Valencia as well, but her last goal at home for us. So yeah, I think it's great. When she signed, you know, the expectation was for her to fill in that number 10 role and play as the second striker at times. But then Weir came along, and then Weir shut that option down completely. Then last season, when Weir wasn't there, there were still options, but the manager decided to go elsewhere and do other things. So it's crazy that it's been 4 years already. But yeah, I mean, a very, very likable figure among the fans. I think at the club as well. I've never heard of any problems with her. And a great personality to have in the dressing room. But yeah, she bids her farewell, and I think it's the best possible way for her to say goodbye by scoring a goal at the home stadium of the club that she loves. So yeah, I'm pretty sure we are going to keep seeing her social media stories in the future as well about Real Madrid. So yeah, looking forward to her, and yeah, I mean, all the best to her in whatever the future holds for her. We will be cheering from distance for her. So yeah.
I have also one more thing I forgot to mention, the assist from her in El Clásico 12 Baradondo. So
uh,
yeah, it's very important.
yeah. So yeah, that is what I'm saying. Like, as a player, whenever she has gotten the opportunity, I think she has made the most of it. I think she has done well in, fixing the holes that she was put on the pitch to do. And she did her role brilliantly whenever called upon. And yeah, I mean, wherever she goes next, she'll have a bunch of Madridistas cheering for her, I'm pretty sure.
Mm.
And yeah, I hope, well, the future is great for her, and all the best in her future endeavors. But she isn't the only player that played their probably their last home game for us. And while this hasn't been explicitly said in out in the public, the photos after the game really sent a message, I think. The players are Mylene, who is supposed to leave at the end of the season. Carla Camacho looks like she's going to leave at the end of the season. And one of our captains, Olga, is also looking like she's going to leave at the end of the season. So, Olga got on the pitch. She got to say goodbye as well, wearing the captain's armband, which is a great thing. We know how big of a Madridista she is, how she has been clutch over the years, not just for the club but also for country. Spain don't win that World Cup without Olga. Uh, she has always been there, scoring in the Clasico from the penalty spots, scoring important penalties for us, having that bombing nature on the left flank, us always saying that she's starting every single game because we did not have anyone. Her availability has been so tremendous for the club. She never missed a long stretch of period of games at the club. So her fitness is great. She loves the club. Great player. And yeah, one of our captains that speaks a lot. So yeah, I mean, whatever the future holds for us, for her, I hope that it's good, and I wish her the best. Carla Camacho's case is a bit different. I think she's a young player who really loves Madrid, who has come up from the academy. So it's a special sort of feeling for her to be playing for the club and representing them at the senior level. But I think this decision is sort of best for her and her career. I think she needs a move away from a club that isn't going to give her minutes at this age, when minutes are the only thing that you require to, develop. She has potential. She can be a great player. People who have followed her in the youth tournaments know that what she's capable of, and I think we haven't seen that at senior side with Real Madrid because of the inconsistent minutes that she has gotten at the club. So I think this move comes at the best time for her, even though I know she's emotional and every fan wants her to stay and sees her as this, you know, an academy product who is going to make it big at the club. But I think the best thing for her right now is to go to a club that will play her regularly. So yeah, share your thoughts on all these players, Kanita, and just take it away.
Yeah, I mean, Olga at least got to say goodbye to the home fans, right? She hasn't posted anything, but yeah, we pretty much know she's leaving. We already discussed her rumors of going to PSG and how that happened. But yeah, it's crazy. We're losing our captain and once again another left back, and we have to find another left back. Yeah, it's gonna be fun transfer wise. But yeah, Olga has been just vital part and of this team, and as you said, her availability is top level. I mean, it's really unbelievable when you think about that. And really, really clutch. Some of the most important moments for this club included her. So yeah, I mean, I still remember the El Clasico on Camp Nou when she took that ball to the penalty spot in front of 91,000 people. 90% of them Barcelona fans. That was insane. I mean, I screamed there. It was just crazy. And yeah, that's just one of the iconic moments that Olga has had, and yeah, obviously is our captain in the past season. So yeah, definitely going to miss her. Um, and yeah, Carla is someone who people have been talking about a lot when we're talking about this game. And for a reason. I mean, we also saw pictures of her crying afterwards. She was also hugging Moller, and they were talking on the pitch and just kind of soaking in the atmosphere of the home fans after the final whistle and stuff. But yeah, I mean, obviously everyone is disappointed, especially including her, that she didn't get to play. And I know we were losing, but there was nothing at stake. We already knew at halftime what the result for the title race was. So, I mean, yeah, I could have put her on, I don't know. Wouldn't have cost us anything in the end. So yeah, I don't know, but I'm not really surprised that we didn't give her, any minutes, anything in return. And she this season she only had like 280 minutes something, right? And 283, I think I read just a few minutes ago. So yeah, and then finally we have Chavas, who we I think she improved a bit this season in some of her aspects a bit, with the low balls. She's teeny bit better. I mean, in these 2 years she's been here, she only featured in 12 games, so it's kind of difficult to say, right? But, we talked about in the beginning how, if she started the last game, she could have started this last home game as well, which was weird. Again, something that we're used to from Toril. So, yeah, I mean, these four players that are leaving, like 99%, that like 1% is Olga, who is still not 100% sure. So that's why I'm saying 99%. So yeah, they're leaving, and as I said, it's always a sad thing for me to see departures. So yeah, I wish good luck to all of them.
And yeah, I mean, the one sort of gripe that I always have with the club is how we have treated these departures at times. As soon as it becomes clear that uh the player is going to leave or is not going to renew with us, they suddenly become unimportant to the team. It's something that really bothered me in that Copa final, which we could have won with Esther. We had a thing going on there, and then she just disappeared from the lineups after starting every single game, probably before April, and then after that international break, she was nowhere to be seen, which is very wild. And I think this thing, it doesn't sit right with me. Whatever is going to happen at the end of the season, you have to think about what is best for you right now, and not like 6 months from now. You can always get good players, you can always sign big players in the summer to replace them. We are a club that has the capability to do that, at least financially. We do. You have to make the most of the talents at hand, and you have to give them an opportunity to the players who have served the club for so long, who have been an important part of the journey. You need to give them sort of this moment to bask in the love of fans, because fans throughout the season, when you perform good, when you don't perform good, they have all sorts of reactions. It's a reactionary sport where everything generates a reaction. It can be positive and negative, but I think as fans, we always give players their due when they are about to leave. We remember them by the good moments, and I think it's the players deserve that. The players deserve to be celebrated that way when leaving. So yeah, it's a bit disappointing that we tend to not do that correctly, and hopefully that changes in the future, because I can't imagine somebody like Caroline Weir when she leaves the club and her not getting on the pitch in the final moments because she has decided not to renew with the club at some point. So I would not really like that. It was the same case with Aslani as well. Did not really get the time. Same with Jakobsen. These players who laid the foundation, who were the part of our first big wins, our first major wins in our history. I think these players need to sort of get that uh, farewell from the fans. So yeah, hopefully that changes in the future. But yeah, it's very disappointing. So yeah, that is about it for this pod. We have one more game in the season, nothing at stake. Away to Valencia. Valencia relegated. We are second place. So let's see. Let's see how it pans out. If we see a lot of debuts, Spain finished third in the under 17 Euros, so Sylvie will be back as well. So maybe she gets some minutes with the senior club. So let's see what happens. We might see minutes for players who have not played in a bit, or maybe we'll just see a strong 11. You never know, as has been the case this entire season. But yeah, so we will be back for that. We will discuss that, and then we'll have a pod where we distribute season awards. We'll do that separately, talking about various things: player of the season, most improved player, match of the season, goal of the season, and whatnot. If you have any categories in mind, please leave them down in the comments, or just reply to our tweets on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, thank you for listening to us. Thank you for supporting us, and please continue to do that because it means a lot. It goes a long way. A like, a share, and a subscribe. Hitting that subscribe button, it goes a long way for us. So yeah, thank you to everyone, and until next time, a la Madrid.
A la Madrid.